Hey y'all, hey, it's me, V the CPS Scholar. I hope this video finds you blessed and loved. Y'all, I just went to go see the Book of Clarence with Lakeith Stansfield, and a bunch of other people. Shout out to Marianne Baptiste who played his mother. That's my Haitian queen. But anyways, first of all, it's over 2 hours long. It's super controversial because people are saying it's blasphemy. And I sat through the whole thing and it was a lot to absorb. So let me say, this is going to be a quick video. Let me say what I liked about it. Well, let me say what the movie is about. So there's Clarence, who's played by Lakeith Stansfield. And he basically, okay, the movie starts off with him and Tiana Taylor, who's playing Mary Magdalene. They're in a chariot race. He wrecks the chariot or whatever. He gets knocked off the chariot by the gypsies, and Mary Magdalene wins the race. Apparently, the chariot and the horse and whatever money he bet was owed to Jedediah the Terrible, who's played by old boy who plays Lamar from BMF. That's where you went from being a crackhead to being a big time dude in, what is this, Jerusalem? Okay, so Jedediah Terrible. The other part is he's in love with Jedediah the Terrible's sister, Verena, beautiful girl. And when he loses and he owes the man money in 30 days, he comes up with a plan to try to get the money back. And he sees that Jesus, people love Jesus or the Messiah, and they do anything for him. And he goes to the disciples, or the apostles, whatever you want to call them, apostles, to get protection because they're the man. They got it going on. They roll with Jesus, and they have a lot of pull, deservedly so. He is the twin brother of Thomas, aka Doubting Thomas, and they have beef because when his mother was sick, Thomas, who is his twin, abandoned and went off with Jesus, and he will stay behind, and he's considered like the loser of the family. He walks around, he sells trees. He's a scoundrel. So anyways, to get the money back, he goes, to get protection so that Jedediah the Terrible doesn't take him out. He goes around, he said, he doesn't believe in God, and he sees that the Messiah, people believe in miracles and they throw money when you have miracles. So he goes around being a false prophet. So I'm gonna let you see the movie for yourself to see how it plays out. But, it's not as blasphemous, especially when, okay, so we've had lots of movies that have had Black Jesus. I mean, even Black Jesus, the show, which was hilarious to me. And if you really paid attention, it was very smartly written. Good Times had a Black Jesus and Florida had a fit. But it did a lot in the fact that the cinematography was different. They had so many cool angles, so many cool effects, especially when they were smoking. But anyway, and it had a lot of principles in there. You basically see Clarence go on a journey from an unbeliever, and I'm not going to say what happens after that, but he believes in knowledge over, well, he feels that knowledge trumps belief and that there was no God, and he's going on a journey to figure out whether he still believes that or not. Baby, the cinematographer did an amazing job. The colors, the subtle effects that he did. The story is solid. A lot of parts are unserious because it is a comedy, but it's not a slap your back comedy. It's like, it's dry humor, and I like a lot of British humor and all that stuff like that. So I appreciated the dry humor. Shout out to Barabbas. When you find out who that character is, you'll understand why I'm saying, look, I got somebody photo on my video. Anyways, well, shout out to Barabbas when you find out who that is. He's definitely a hero, and he is a high point of the movie. Tiana Taylor did her thing. Oh boy, who plays Lamont on Rap-ish is on there. And it's funny to see him go from Miami producer green smoker to this character that he's playing where he's in Jerusalem. But the movie itself was beautiful. The way they, of course, they lit the Black people, the hair, the set. Somebody had a budget. The music was very, very good. It fit every scene. Just like The Harder They Fall, they had modern music just pop up in there, but it fit. I don't know who they had a couple of villains, which would have been the Romans, and they had some lines too. But it's basically a theme of when people do miracles. Is this real? Is God one of us? How do you treat your fellow man as a human? There was a lot going on. Now, what I can say is it was over 2 hours long. And for some odd reason, over 2 hour long, like I watched Color Purple and it didn't feel like 2 hours. This definitely felt like the 2 hours because it was a slow burn. But there was enough to keep you going. There was enough to keep you going. The scenes where there was violence or torture or the crucifixion is in there, or whatever. The Last Supper. There's lots of themes in there. It's almost too much. It was almost too much for me to bear. But I like the movie, but I think it's more of a movie that you probably like. You're sitting at the house and you got a couple hours to spare, and you sit there and you smoke some trees. Kids, don't do that. Okay. And you probably get more of a kick out of it. But it was a well-written movie. I think it was a well-written movie. People acted their behind off in this movie. I believe it's produced by Jay-Z, but I saw a lot of people saying that it was blasphemous. And when I went in the theater, because I go on random days when nobody would be here, it was a few of us. So I don't even know if this movie gonna make any money based on people assuming on the trailer what it's about and what's gonna happen. But I came out being more of a believer, but it's probably because I was a believer before. But it was very interesting how everything played out. So I would say, go check it out. Make sure you're well rested and you're not sleepy because the movie theater is cold. I'm the type that'll fall asleep in that thing hard. I stayed awake the entire time, so it was enough for me. It's definitely a thinkers movie, and there's some fun high times in there. How high with the Bible? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what y'all was thinking when y'all did this. What's his name? Jameis Samuels, I think is the one. I might be tearing that man down who did this movie. I just love seeing a bunch of melanated people in a movie that isn't Boys in the Hood, even though Boys in the Hood is a classic, but you know what I mean, that genre of thug type situations. It's people living their life. Do you believe? Do you not believe? Where does your faith lie? And seeing somebody on a journey to become somebody is amazing, or at least getting their self-esteem or their pride back. So check out the Book of Clarence. As you can see, I'm not as excited about this movie as I was The Color Purple, but it's because the reason I love musicals, even though y'all was mad it was a musical. I love musicals. Also, I read the book, so I was very familiar with the story, so I could see the nuances or whatever. With this, I literally went in there blind. Let's say I went up on a Tuesday to figure out if I liked it or not, so I could come back and tell you guys. So if I gave it some Smarties, it's like I want to say it was good, but it was so much at once. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 Smarties because to me 5 is a classic. The musical Color Purple probably would have been a 3.5 or 4 only because it's been done right, and when they had good dancing and all that other stuff in there. Oh yeah, there's a random scene where they were just dancing, a couple line dancing. But anyways, in the movie, but so it's kind of hard for me to give something a 5. I'm gonna give it a 3, which means it's a solid movie, and I could rewatch it again. It's an interesting take on a historical occurrence. So go check it out. With that being said, love who loves you. May God bless you with everything that you need. And the Sepia Scholar is out. Bye, y'all.